Hi there, James. Welcome to Lead Generation Nation. My first question to guests, it's always the same, is who are you and why should we listen to you?
Awesome. Well, thank you, Johnny. I'm really pleased to be on the show, so thanks for having me. My name's James. I work in the social media marketing space, and specifically, I work with food and beverage brands creating social content and also doing some kind of social media management and strategy. I've been in the space for over 10 years as a social media marketer. And yeah, I don't know, like, if that's enough of a reason for people to listen to me, but there it is.
It is. It absolutely is. And before we really get into why you're on the show today and the remarkable lead generation strategy that you've come up with, I have not seen this anywhere. Could you just explain a bit more? We know that, you're a social media and video production agency for food and beverage world, but could you talk more about the businesses you're trying to get leads from? Who's your target customer?
Totally. So right now, with the business that I'm currently spending most time on, we're trying to reach really decision makers when it comes to social media in food and beverage brands. So the kind of brands that we're targeting are, really I'm speaking to the owner or one of the founders or perhaps the kind of head of marketing. So these are the kind of people that we're trying to reach at the moment.
Interesting. Okay, so that's really helpful now. So I guess with that in mind, and now that we understand more about your business and who you're targeting, what is the cool new lead generation strategy that you're using to reach? And what the thing which got me excited about having you on the show? What is the strategy? In short talk.
Yeah, in short. So essentially, my kind of thought process when I was creating the strategy was, look, I need to get their attention because these kind of people are being pitched all the time, and I need to stay in front of these people. So really, that was my main thought when creating this process. And essentially, how the funnel looks is I connect with lots of people on LinkedIn every day. So I send like 50 to 100 connection requests every day to my kind of target audience. Then when they connect with me, and it's just a very like soft connection request, it's just, hey, we're both in the food and beverages world, we should connect. Then if they connect with me, and when they connect with me, I will send them a video, a very short video, just introducing myself so they can put a face to a name. But it's a specific video that is tailored to them. Like I shoot literally a video for every person I connect with on LinkedIn. When they go and watch that video, they get pixeled on Facebook. So for those who don't know what that is, essentially there's a bit of code on the website that I send them to watch the video, and they go into an audience, and that audience I then run ads against so that people who are my kind of exact target leads, if you like, are constantly seeing my content, because whenever I post new content, I run ads against that audience, as well as like promo ads and stuff like that. Then if they respond either to that initial message or one of my ads, the call to action is always connect with me on WhatsApp. There's no forms to fill in or anything like that. It's just, let's have a chat on WhatsApp.
And that's the powerful thing, I think, about your lead generation strategy right now. The very thing that I wanted to speak to you about was that the call to action, when someone lands on that sort of landing page you're trying to drive them through, is not a really big form fill. I think a lot of times in B2B lead gen, we tend to have lots of fields in our forms to get the right role and the right decision maker and all that. Your simple call to action at the end of all of that effort is the WhatsApp button, connect with me on WhatsApp. That is pretty revolutionary as far as I'm concerned. With all the lead gen experts I'm speaking to, with all the people who are trying to generate leads for their business, no one is using WhatsApp as that end call to action and to get these leads. And with that in mind then, what's the day like? What is your WhatsApp like right now as a result of this strategy? If you don't mind, you can go into numbers. If not so much. But what are you seeing every day? When you wake up in the morning, pick up your phone?
Well, it's not normally like first thing in the morning, because I suppose, I'm targeting people who are in the UK. But yeah, I'm getting new leads through every single day, like multiple new leads, leading to kind of multiple calls, really. So very well. The thing is, I hate email. I despise email, and one of my bucket list goals is to retire from email ASAP. So that is one of the main reasons why I use WhatsApp. And I think that the reason that WhatsApp is so powerful, as you know, as well as the fact I hate email, is the fact that it's much more kind of, you use WhatsApp generally for speaking to friends, right? So I think you can build that connection with someone very quickly using a platform like WhatsApp. You know, email is very stiff. You can probably only back and forth a couple of emails a day, whereas with WhatsApp you can keep it very conversational. It's kind of hard for people to ghost you as well on WhatsApp, which I think is really important, because I think, you know, when you're pitching companies, often you will get ghosted, and so it's harder for people to do that on WhatsApp. As I say, it's more conversational, so you build up a rapport with people. So yeah, I think that's what kind of excites me about using WhatsApp.
So one of the things that really struck me about this, like I said just before, was that no one that I know is using WhatsApp. Do you think that, I mean, I know you started to talk about the immediacy of it and all of that, but I think many people who get into B2B lead generation tend to think of their end clients, tend to think of the people, their leads, that they're very you know, if they're business professionals, they won't want to use something as informal or consumery or retaily as WhatsApp. I guess that's not your experience, but why do you think that? Do you think the world of B2B lead generation might have some wrong preconceptions about the leads they're generating from other businesses? I remember when I spoke to you, you said, Johnny, these people are fundamentally humans. It doesn't matter whether they're a CEO or a CMO or SVP. You know, it doesn't matter if they're suddenly high-powered executives, perhaps if we're trying to get into enterprise companies. All of them are humans who value ease. Could you speak to that a bit more?
Yeah, so yeah, that's totally the thing. You know, if you're a high-powered CEO, you still use WhatsApp, right? You still use like Facebook Messenger and things like that too. So I think that it's a great way to build more of a personal relationship with your like potential clients and clients, and to also bypass gatekeepers. Because if you're working with CEOs who might have like an assistant or a receptionist or whatever, you know, they just give you their landline number or email address, you know, probably if it's someone serious, you're going through gatekeepers, whereas you get them on WhatsApp, no gatekeepers, you know. So yeah, these people have WhatsApp, and if they like you, if you come across likable, they'll add you on WhatsApp, they'll speak to you on WhatsApp. And you know, I think a lot of people have this misconception that it's like only young people that use stuff like that. It's not true. You know, I speak to my parents and grandparents on WhatsApp. I'm watching this, when we think about it, actually there's people in their family and friends, you know, across the age spectrum. And so even when I'm speaking to, you know, 50, 60-year-old CEOs, they're all on WhatsApp.
The other thing I was going to sort of say to you, and that all makes, I guess, perfect sense, is how are you finding managing these leads? So most people you talked about really disliking email and how, you know, you tend to favor anything that can get you off the email platform is fine. But I think many people who are lead generators appreciate their leads coming in an inbox. They sort of sit there. It's easy to manage. You can sift through. How are you finding managing leads, or in this case, managing conversations within the WhatsApp interface? Is it easy? Does it get quite hectic and frenetic?
I find it okay. I think that, you know, my personal opinion is if you're using your inbox as a CRM, that is a very bad idea. And so, you know, I use Pipedrive personally for kind of managing my leads and really at a glance seeing where in the pipeline leads are. So, you know, I think pairing a strategy like that with using something like Pipedrive, there's other CRMs out there as well that do this sort of thing, but I like Pipedrive. I think that's really important. But yeah, I think it's not as, you know, at the end of the day, right, I'm trying to sell people something. And so it's not as if they're hitting me up constantly on WhatsApp, you know, it's more the other way around. So it's not as if I'm like being bombarded with messages constantly. You know, it's just a good way to stay in touch with people, arrange to have calls, and to follow up with people when you've sent them a proposal.
Do you have any particular scripts or tactics? So for example, you talk about follow up, right? Or staying in contact. In email, there are sort of known ways to follow up with someone if they've gone quiet after an initial outreach. If someone puts their hand up, qualifies as a lead, and ends up in your inbox, there are usually ways to follow up which are known. Have you found that the way you use or conversate with people on the platform is different to how you would with in email, for example?
I think it's just a lot more informal. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to, like, the great thing is you don't have to trick people with WhatsApp, because you build that rapport with them very quickly, and then you can just be quite honest with people, and you know if your message has been delivered. You know if your message has been read. And there are tools for email where you can do that stuff, but with WhatsApp, you know that it's been delivered, it's been read, and they know that you know that it's been delivered and it's been read. So I think it's a completely different dynamic. So yeah, I think it's an opportunity to just be more real.
Some of the people listening to this, myself included up until recently, to my shame, probably think of WhatsApp as just a mobile-based app and don't appreciate that they can use it certainly in the iOS store, that there are apps so they can have a desktop experience. Are you using WhatsApp on your desktop at the moment, or is this purely a mobile, cell phone based strategy right now?
Yeah, it's on my desktop. If I'm working at my computer, I use WhatsApp on my computer, and that means that my workflow is tidy.
Okay, so you talk about workflow there. So I'm just wondering, and obviously you're not a WhatsApp guru, you're someone who's used it, seeing that it's working for generating leads and converting people into interesting calls. I'm just wondering, have you seen any interest in plugins, or have you integrated WhatsApp in a way into your other sort of softwares or technologies that you're using, or is WhatsApp quite standalone at the moment and it's still you're still trying to figure out how to bake it into the rest of your processes?
So I normally use it just in a tab, to be honest with you. However, I do use a piece of software called, so I'm just trying to find it on my other screen. I use another piece of software called Shift, which I really highly recommend if you are a business development sales professional. In fact, if you do anything where you have to flick between a lot of screens and accounts, it allows you to have multiple, for example, Gmail accounts open in the same window. So, and you can have Skype in there, you can have WhatsApp in there, you can have Telegram in there. So it's great because it's kind of tabbed and you don't ever have to switch between screens, or desktops or monitors. It's all in one place. So I'd really recommend Shift for, people who are wanting to have a good workflow when it comes to this stuff.
So that's really helpful. Shift, if you want to be able to manage multiple tabs on your screen. So even though WhatsApp is the strategy, it just fascinates me right now. What's the quickest you've gone from? What's probably the quickest or the shortest cycle between someone encountering you on Facebook or LinkedIn with that initial ad and the initial retargeting to them being a WhatsApp? Probably what I'm asking is just what's the journey time between someone not hearing about you to discovering you to being on a call with you or in your WhatsApp? Do you have any idea how to measure that journey or optimize it, or is it just they get in contact?
It happens instantly. Like it's crazy. It's crazy how quickly it happens. So another thing that I do is I run LinkedIn ads, and that's not a retargeting audience. It's cold ads. So I've got a promo video. I run it on LinkedIn, against CEOs of food companies of a certain size, let's say, and it has my promo, and then the call to action is literally a link that when they click it, it opens me up on WhatsApp. And all the time, every single day, I'm getting leads through people saying, "Hey, I've seen your video. I want to work with you. Can you send me pricing?" I mean, this is literally like multiple times a day I'm getting this happening.
And so if we now go a little bit upstream from the campaign, if we're saying that the WhatsApp call to action conversion goal is downstream, talk to me a little bit about the video that you're sending to people. I know you say that you have different ads and you're putting different pieces of content out there, but if we can just talk perhaps about the video you're sending to the corporate LinkedIn audience, are you saying anything in that video such as click on the WhatsApp button below, or is the promo actually very... So that's interesting in and of itself, the fact that you don't tell people to go there. They see the video and instinctively know to go to that WhatsApp button as the next step.
Yeah. So in the ad copy, it will say something like, do you need content for your brand? If you want to chat, click here, sort of thing. Hit me up on WhatsApp. But No, the thing is, right, I really don't want to be heavy-handed with my sales. I like, I want to, I want people to come to me because I think that's the power move. If people are coming to me, asking me for my services, is my position, right? If I'm literally like sliding into people's DMs on LinkedIn and like begging for them to become a client, then they're in the power position. So, you know, the whole strategy is crafted around making them want me. And so I don't like to do like really strong call to action stuff like that. Literally, the end of the video just says, if this sounds like what you need, we should talk. And that's the call to action. And then if they want me, they'll find me in the ad copy, the link to my WhatsApp. So
nice. So there are many parts probably to this strategy, right? You talk about having that, you have the advert. The advert pushes people to a video, and below the video is a call to action, which is, connect with me on WhatsApp. Where if someone wanted to get started tomorrow, there's a lot there, and it doesn't mean anyone can just switch it on and build this same funnel in so quickly, but what would you encourage? What's a small tidbit for some to get started on the journey or emulating what you're doing? Where would you advise they start first? What's a small test they can do, or a small way they can get on the journey and emulate your success?
Okay, so I think that in a basic, low-cost way, there's a couple of things you need. I think that you need to get a piece of software called Dub. It's dub.com. And that's the like software or service I use for creating my videos. So it's a Chrome extension. And again, I'm adding people every day, or putting out a fairly generic connection request every day. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze, excuse me. So I'm putting out a fairly generic, I'm putting out a fairly generic connection request to 50 to 100 people every day, right? You can do this by hand, or there's services where you can use. I think up to you really how you want to do that, right? But to start off with, you could just do this by hand. Then if people connect with you, you want to send them a video that you record with Dub. What's great about Dub is it sends them to a landing page where it's got your video, but also it's got all your contact details. And there I have a button, which is a WhatsApp button. So the call to action is the link to WhatsApp. Now, as part of setting up your Dub account, what you're going to want to do is have your Facebook ad account as well, and take your Facebook pixel code and integrate that with Dub. I think that it's very simple to do. And your pixel will have an ID. You put that in the settings on Dub and you're good to go. And that means that you'll be then collecting an audience of people who watch your videos. So really your hottest, you're out to them knowing who they are and what their position is and what company they work for. So you know that they're the people you want to be connecting with. And B, they're interested enough in you that they've watched your video. So these are like hot leads. And then you can run ads against that audience. And what I tend to do is I run my promo ad against that audience just constantly. And again, that's just got the WhatsApp call to action. But then also, I have a blog. I am constantly creating content. And so I will run that content against that audience to make sure that they see it, because they're my kind of hottest prospects. So I think that really, in terms of getting started, that is the like base level setup, if that makes sense.
No, it does. And so James, I think that we're probably coming to the end of our time together. So my last question to you is, where can listeners learn more about you, about your agency and what you do? Tell us where we can connect with you best way.
Yeah, so you can check me out at jamesbrooks.co. That's James, BROOKS.co. And, all my social media is on there, but you can check me out. I'm most active on LinkedIn and Instagram, so feel free to connect me on there. My username is James Brooks Co. James, BROOKS.co. So yeah, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd love to chat and answer any questions you guys might have. And also Instagram, absolutely love Instagram, live for the gram. So check me out on there as well.
Brilliant. Well, James, I have no doubt that we'll be bringing you back onto the show in the future. But until then, thank you very much for joining us on Lead Generation Nation.
Thank you for having me. Super appreciate it.
And for anyone watching this today, if you want to be on the Lead Generation Nation show, if you have an interesting lead generation case study, please reach out to me on johnny@leadgeneration.chat or go to the Lead Generation Nation website, leadgeneration.chat. We'll see you next time, my little lead generators. Thank you.